I was born in 1940 in St. Paul, Minnesota. 5 years after I was born, my mother woke me up one night from a nice sleep, walked me over to a window that overlooked the city, and horns were blaring, bells were ringing, fireworks were going off, people were screaming and hollering, pots and pans were clanging. And there were some fireworks off in the distance, and my mother said, "Gary, World War II has ended." And going back to bed, I thought, why did she have to wake me up to tell me World War II had ended? Well, probably 3 years after that, I remember vividly sitting around with a couple of my buddies out in where we lived in a rural area north of St. Paul, talking about what had been found in the concentration camps in Germany after the war. 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds talking about what they had found, the horrors of that war. And of course, I've never forgotten that conversation because we've never forgotten the war. And it colored my life and our lives. It colored the 40s and it colored the 50s. And it shaped the politics of the 40s and the 50s thereafter. And now at this stage in my life, one other thing happened when I was in the 7th grade. An interesting thing. This might not happen in Florida today. Mrs. Keeman, who is one of the most remarkable teachers I've ever had, gave us a section on propaganda. She told the 7th grade class how propaganda works, what it was, the big lie, the inverted language, all the packages that come with deceptions. And of course, I never forgot that either, because we could see it played out in the politics of that era. And one of the other things that I remember about the 50s, quite vividly, is that as a kid growing up, I always had the feeling we weren't being told everything. I always had the feeling that there was stuff that was being kept from us. And I think that had a lot to do with what happened in the 60s. It had a lot to do with what happened as the 60s rolled on. There was a generation of people that were pissed off about the fact that we weren't told what was going on, about a lot of things that were important to us. And so now I'm sitting here as an 82-year-old guy, seeing people like DeSantis and Trump trying to bring us back to that. Mrs. Keeman would be fired in Florida now for what she told us and what she taught us. Trump, he's the Pope of violence in this country. People like him because he gives them permission to act badly. He will be forgotten, except when the Mrs. Keemans of the future give lessons in propaganda. In terms of his politics, he'll be about as attractive as last month's green salad found in the back of the refrigerator. He'll be history. Sad, sad.